Maybe you've gotten to the point where you're almost afraid to eat food because you feel like you just know there's going to be this horrible experience in my body after I eat pretty much anything. There's going to be some type of great discomfort. I'm going to be on the toilet. I'm going to be hurling. If this is you, and every meal you have to have this decision of, do I want to eat and survive, or do I want to deal with the nightmare that's going to come after eating? Well, in this video, I'm going to help you understand what's going on? What is happening? What do I even do about this? You can't miss this.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
So over on our video for loose stools after gallbladder removal, it was something Scorpio 52 or something like that asked, after every meal it's like Wheel of Misfortune, where every spin is guaranteed to punish the porcelain via explosive diarrhea or projectile vomiting. Happy times. The alternative is to just drinking my dinner with air for breakfast and lunch. And I get this, I actually hear about similar stories from people all the time where every time they eat, they create such amazing discomfort that it makes it where they're afraid to eat. Or is the eating even worth it? Or am I really that hungry that I want to suffer that badly? And with porcelain Scorpio or whatever the screen name was, I don't know your situation. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you advice. But I want to help people understand that when there's this type of misery going on, there's really stuff happening here. It's not your personality. It's not a genetic thing. Oh man, this is what I was stuck with. My mom was miserable after she ate, so I get to be miserable too. That's not how it has to be. You can fix these things and you can create improvement when you understand what's happening. And the most common severe discomfort issues that can come up after eating for most people is they're going to have some crazy diarrhea where they just got to be on the toilet. Maybe it lifts them off the toilet like a rocket. Or they're going to hurl no matter what they eat. They're just going to throw up. Or maybe some severe nausea or bloating, like I feel like I'm 6 months pregnant. Or maybe acid reflux that's so painful that it's like, I just don't feel like eating again. You know, and gallbladder pain can create a lot of discomfort for a lot of people where they get scared to eat too, or they just have really bad pain in that upper right quadrant there where your gallbladder can be, and creating that type of discomfort. Now there's lots of other discomforts that can happen after eating, but these seem to be the ones that make a person, am I going to eat? I don't really want to eat because I don't want that to happen. So to understand what's going on here, we need to understand the most common underlying causes for these problems. And for a lot of people, when it's this severe, there's more than one thing going on. A lot of times they're searching for answers and like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work. But a lot of times it's really about understanding the underlying cause and what's going wrong so that you can put enough effort into correcting that you can turn things around. Because you're going to see, to correct a lot of these problems, when a person takes the right step, that first time that they're doing that right step can create more discomfort. And so they're like, oh, well, that wasn't it. That wasn't the answer. I'm not going to do that again. And they shut that down. And so they never really find the right solution because they don't understand the reaction that's coming from taking the right steps. So when we're looking at all of these discomforts, we need to understand the two main sides of digestion, because usually one or both of those is going wrong when creating any of these symptoms. And when we eat food, our stomachs need to make hydrochloric acid, or HCl. And that stomach acid is what helps us acidify the food so that we can break it down. That's why we eat food, is we got to get the nutrients out of that food. And then when that acidic product leaves the stomach and goes down here into the duodenum, which is like the first 10 inches of the small intestine, that's when this gallbladder squirts this alkaline bile down onto that acidic product to help neutralize those acids so that we can really break the food down and get all the nutrients out of that food. So the problem is it's really common for someone not to be making enough stomach acid today. And it's also very common for this bile to become too thick and sticky to flow correctly. So if either side of that digestion is not working correctly, you don't get that collision of acidic stuff meeting the alkaline bile stuff that creates like this sizzle that helps us really break the food down a lot easier and get all the nutrients out of that food. Now there's more to digestion than just to those two things. Pancreatic enzymes come out there, we got bicarb, we got all this stuff that happens in the small intestine and in the colon. But these two sides of digestion malfunctioning are the most common malfunctions that create all of these problems. So let's look at this. When we're looking at diarrhea, there's a lot of causes of diarrhea, like some type of SIBO situation, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. All the cool kids have SIBO now. But when there's some type of bacteria in there, that can create a diarrhea thing. But the most common diarrhea issue, over here with Scorpio Chicky 95 or whatever it was, she was on that video for, what happens, why am I getting diarrhea after the gallbladder is removed? Well, when the gallbladder is removed, now there's no bolus of bile coming down to neutralize the acids that are leaving the stomach. Not everybody that loses their gallbladder is going to have diarrhea, but it's very common. But even beyond losing the gallbladder, if the gallbladder isn't removed and that bile has become too thick and sticky to flow correctly, then the bile still isn't flowing. And the bile isn't coming down to neutralize those acids, so the acids continue to move through the intestinal tract. Well, the acids are made to help us break down our protein. We know that, but guess what the intestinal tract is made of? It's protein. So those acids are going to continue to digest the intestinal tract, and the body doesn't want to do that, so it'll bring all this water there to cool it off, and then it comes shooting out the back door like a rocket, and we have all this diarrhea stuff. So that's the most common cause for diarrhea, but it's not just bad luck or a personality thing. There's malfunctions that are creating that problem. When we're looking at vomiting and nausea and bloating, a lot of times there's just not enough stomach acid to acidify that food. And the other problem is that stomach acid is what kills all the bad guys that come in on the food that we're eating. All these bacteria and microorganisms that are coming in, they die in an acid bath when that stomach makes the hydrochloric acid. So if someone isn't making enough hydrochloric acid, then this bacteria sets up camp, it creates all these gases and toxins and pressure, and so we get things like the acid reflux, we get the bloating that comes from all this extra gases that are created from this bacteria that expands the stomach or the intestinal tract and creates that bloating and discomfort. If things are really bad here, then it's going to make so much gook in the stomach that the body's like, yeah, get this out of here. I can't deal with this, and it's going right back to where it came from, and they're hurling to the porcelain gods. So these are a variety of issues that can come about from just one or two things malfunctioning a little bit. This reflux stuff, it's actually usually caused by not enough stomach acid. It's not caused by having too much stomach acid like advertisers like us to think, but this valve here at the bottom of the esophagus, the lower esophageal sphincter, is triggered by stomach acid. It's triggered to close so that things don't come back up. But if there's not enough acid to trigger that valve to close, then all of a sudden the small amount of acid you have in there is coming back up and it's burning us. So these malfunctions can create a lot of discomfort. If this bile isn't flowing correctly, that bile stays in the gallbladder and continues to concentrate until it can concentrate into sludge or even stones. And either of those things can create a lot of discomfort or a major gallbladder attack, and that's some crazy pain. You really don't want that pain. So in most cases, when somebody's dealing with these severe symptoms, there's one or more things going wrong. Either there's not enough stomach acid there so that they can break that food down, so that they can keep bacteria from setting up camp in the stomach or in the small intestine where it should not be. Bacteria should be here in the large intestine. Poor bile flow so that they can't emulsify dietary fats. If dietary fats can't break down, they become rancid and toxic and can make a person really feel nauseous. Some type of bacterial overgrowth that came in because there wasn't enough stomach acid. And all that bacteria has waste that they're creating and they're pooping in you. So why would you feel good? So that's a big problem. Or a lot of times it's a combination of a variety of things, a variety of these problems that are creating such a severe state for the person after they eat food. As a human, we should conquer our food. We shouldn't run from a chicken salad sandwich in horror because we know we're going to feel so bad. So when we're not conquering our food, some of this stuff is going wrong. With the stool issues, there can also be problems with the circadian rhythm imbalances, but for most people, it's these things here. These are the things that are really creating trouble. Now, the steps to fix this is really one thing. It's understanding this stuff. I can't give you a remedy to fix all of this mess when the problems are so severe that you're afraid to eat. Those problems are severe. So you're going to need to understand how this digestive stuff is supposed to work so that you can understand the steps that are going to work for you. It's really going to be different for every person. But when somebody takes steps to acidify the stomach, maybe they're using a little apple cider vinegar, maybe they're supplementing with betaine HCl, you really want to know how to do that the right way, because if you put a little bit of acid in there and you don't have enough to really acidify the stomach, you're going to magnify reflux things, you're going to magnify bloating because it's a little bit of acid mixing with all this alkaline waste from the bacteria that's in there. It's going to make things a whole lot worse. So if you want to dig into really learning about how this is supposed to work so you can correct these problems for you, I'm going to give you 2 totally free options in the description below. My book, Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, chapters 3 and 4, walk you through figuring out which aspects of digestion are not working correctly and what steps you can take to improve those. And then I'll also put a link to our free digestion course that walks you through that same process. Either you're a reader or you like to watch videos, but if either way that you like to learn, one of those free options is going to help you find some answers. Now, we also have videos on all these topics, and I'll put the links in the description below. If there's something that you're really dealing with, you can dig deeper into that topic to see if you can learn a little bit more. It's all about arming yourself with information so that you can understand what's going on. But right now, if you want to get a better idea of, oh, is it a stomach acid issue? Is it a bile flow issue? Jump over and watch our video on either 10 signs of low stomach acid or 10 signs of poor bile flow to gain more insights into which side may be creating trouble for you. I can't wait to hear about your results.